Okay.
Okay YouTubers, I need your help with this Phaser 600. It's a 2000 model. Basically, as far as I can make out after doing God knows how many tests, it's a fuel delivery problem, and I think it's either the fuel pump or the fuel pump relay, which is obviously over here, or a combination of both. What I'll do is I'll fire it up, you can see exactly what happens, and then after, because I won't talk over the row of the bike, after that I will explain exactly what I've done, and obviously I'll leave it open to you then, hopefully for some suggestions to put me on the right tracks. Okay, here we go. Okay, I don't know if you can hear me over the sound of the engine, but that was just like tickling the throttle. If I tickle the throttle, it does this. It more or less climbs and revs okay. But if you need to whack it open for overtaking or just wide open throttle, this is the problem. Okie doke, I won't bore you with too much of that. So we go back to what I've actually done and checked and renewed and all the rest of it. I'll start off with the simple stuff if you like. I'll start off with the ignition. What I've done is I've changed out all the plugs. They are brand new. They are brand new caps. I've done numerous multimeter tests on things like the coils, primary and secondary, and they're all within spec, so in theory the coils are fine, the high tension leads are fine. I've even gone as far as right from the pickup coil down on the actual generator, right through. So in theory, the only thing I haven't checked is this little box of tricks, but apparently that can't be checked unless you swap it out for one from another bike, and that will obviously determine whether or not that is faulty. At the moment I haven't done that. But my thinking at the moment is it's not an electrical problem, it's actually a fuel delivery problem or a fuel starvation problem. With regards to the system, all these pipes have been blown through with compressed air, all fuel lines. There is no obstruction whatsoever. That is a new fuel filter, brand new filter. And that, as far as I can tell, is working well. The carbs have been taken out and cleaned and checked numerous times, and I mean numerous times, and quite frankly there is nothing in there as far as I can see that is causing problems. The settings are right, the idle screws are right, there are 2 turns out, which is stock. With regards to, talking of stock, with regards to jetting, nothing like that has been done. It is still straight from the factory. It is straightforward. Idle screw is 2 turns out. The jets, as I say, factory. The only modifications, if you like, that have been done is there's a K&N air filter in, and obviously on this side there's an aftermarket can. But fingers would point towards those. Well, if you've done that, then obviously you've upset and the fuel air mixture, and you may need to rejet it. But what you've got to bear in mind is the K&N filter, air filter, and the aftermarket can has been on this bike and has been running fine for the last 2 years. So if there was a problem with jetting, why is it raising its ugly head now? I can't see it. Personally, my money is on the fuel pump. or possibly the fuel pump relay. The reason I say that is apparently the pump has got a back pressure valve or sensor in there, and if that is the case, when you first turn the ignition on, I'll show you, and it pressurizes or primes the system, you will get the famous clicking, obviously with any air, and then when it primes and pressurizes the system, the relay, or the sensor I should say, the back pressure sensor shuts, and obviously the relay shuts off as well, as you will hear. So in theory that part of the system works fine, but what I've noticed is when the bike is running, the pump itself only pulses once every couple of seconds. I don't know if that's correct or if that's something wrong with the pump, but I seem to think there's not enough pressure down on the carb rail and into the float bowls to obviously compensate for when you open the throttle right up and basically the engine or the carbs are calling for fuel and they're just not getting it because the pump isn't doing its job and keeping the pressure there. I can't really think of anything else, to be honest. The fuel is fine. Say, bear in mind, the most I've done is take the carbs out to clean them. I've done them numerous times in the past, no problems at all, and yet all of a sudden the gremlins seem to have set in on it. And coming back to the K&N air filter and the aftermarket cam, bear in mind they've been on the bike 2 years with the original jets that are still in there now and has been running fine, so why all of a sudden has this got problems? I can't really think of anything else. I'll leave it at that. If anything else comes to mind, then obviously I'll post up another video, but hopefully you can all sort of get your heads together and throw some light on what the problem will be. Cheers, thanks for that.